So our new album, Across the Causeway, we were very fortunate enough. I saw when you introduced the show, Ray Wiley Hubbard cut a little spot for you, and we were fortunate enough to have him sing on one of our songs on this album. And it's actually a pretty cool story because it was kind of during the pandemic, and we had started recording, and then we had to pause for like almost a year to get back in the studio. And I'd written this song called "That's Rock and Roll," which it's about playing music and stuff. One of the first verses about opening up for Ray Wiley Hubbard and just hoping he would think our band was cool, and then him come over and talk to us and being like, "Yeah, you guys are cool," which never happened. Right. We haven't opened up for him. It was just what I imagined it would be like.
That's how I dreamed it.
But I called him, or I just reached out to him. I don't know him from Adam, but I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey Ray, I wrote this song. I'm a big fan, been a fan my whole life, and I sent him the lyrics and a live recording of it. We didn't have it fully recorded yet." And I was like, "I know you probably have zero interest in singing on a no-name band out of Galveston, but if you did, it'd be really cool, And so I was sitting there one day and my phone rings and it says Judy Hubbard on it. But I was somewhere where I couldn't answer it, and I was like, and I'm like trying to get somewhere, and then it just it goes to voicemail. And I was like, no. And I immediately just called back, and it's she answers, and she's just super nice, and she says, "Hey Brandon, Ray listened to your song and he likes the lyrics and he wants to know when you want him to cut the lyrics on your album." And I was like, "No way!" And I
lost it.
Yeah, I was totally fangirling with her, and we talked for 10-15 minutes. She was just super nice and amazing, and we got off the phone, and I was on cloud nine. I was texting everyone I knew, and called my mom and dad, and then my phone gets interrupted again. It's her name on there again, and I was like, okay, I got it. I'm gonna answer it this time. I'm in the spot. And I answer it, and it's actually Ray. And he goes, "Brandon, this is Ray. Here I'm going to be singing on your album." And I was like, "What? This is the coolest phone call of my life." And he's like, "You need to get better phone calls, man." And it was just so cool. And I talked to him for about 10 minutes. He's so nice. Awesome. And both of them were just...
You should tell people that when they go, "Man, that sounds awesome." You'd be like, "Pretty much is."
Pretty much is, yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, he recorded his part remotely and sent it to us. We didn't get to be in the studio with him in person, but Judy was taking videos and pictures and sending them to me the whole time.
That's pretty awesome.
It was super cool. But
good people.
Yeah, absolutely. I still just fantastic people, both of them. And
all my stories about Ray are good stories.
Yeah.
I've never heard a bad word.
No, I haven't either. And I tell a lot of people that story, and everyone says the same thing. Like, he's just good people.
And he's so cool that he could even say something mean to you, and it's still cool.
Yeah, it would still be the coolest insult you ever get.
Right? It's like, it just sounds so cool.
Right, exactly. But this is that song. Unfortunately, Ray couldn't be here today, so I'll be singing his part. But this is called "That's Rock and Roll." Well, we finished up our show, had nowhere to go, so we hung around backstage. We did our best to act our age. Well, we drank a lot of whiskey, maybe a cold beer or two. Yeah, we tried to be good until Ray Wiley Hubbard was through. When it got all done, he looked at me and he said, "Son, well, I dig what kind of dirty, so we jumped in the river, punishing our liver. We stayed too long, forgot about our show that night in Green. Well, I'm pretty sure we made it, but then again, that could have all been a dream. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. As long as you're a star, you'll never grow old. No, you'll never grow old. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll.
Oh, good stuff. Brandon
Thank you.
McDermott right there, live on the morning ride in Dallas on air. Man, that's a cool song.
Thanks a
I
lot.
dig that.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I want to hear the version with Ray on it now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good the way he
Does
does.
he
yeah.
sing the part where you say he said?
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't do the he said, I said, it's
Yeah.
still super cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I could hear it in my head when you were singing. I could hear Ray doing that. So cool. Well, stick around.